Hello students, we will continue with the lesson secondary economic activities. We'll see their relevance as in where the industry aspect is concerned and how these industry regions and the different kinds of regions make a difference and add to the economy. So this is the first thing what we are going to learn about is industrial regions. Industries are unevenly distributed because the factors affecting industrial location are not the same everywhere. Definitely, the factors affecting the places where they are set up. It depends on the places where they are set up. So it is not the same everywhere. Industries tend to concentrate in a few pockets because of earlier mentioned favorable factors. The factors which are taken into consideration or which are important while locating an industry is taken into consideration, and they are concentrated in few areas, few pockets in a few areas. The pockets having high concentration of industries are known as industrial regions. Now, there are certain belts in our cities or in our country which are known as industrial belts, where industries are maximum set up. There are maximum set up industries, as in Surat, Ahmedabad, Mumbai. There are a lot of industries. There are places where in Pune, if you consider, so we have Perankut, we have Wagoli. So all that is also uh, like an industrial region because the setup of all that area is in an industrial area. It's like industrial region where factories are located, plants are there, machinery is there, workers are staying around. So the whole atmosphere is of an industrial area like. Now, what are the major industrial regions of the world? Industrial regions are those areas where concentration of industries has occurred due to favorable geo-economic conditions. Means the economic conditions are favorable and geographic conditions are also favorable. That's why the concentration of industries is more. So why are industrial areas set up in those areas? Because of two factors. The geographical factors also are favorable as well as the economic factors are favorable. These are the areas within which manufacturing industry is carried out on a relatively large scale. Now, manufacturing, we know secondary industries deals with production, manufacturing. So what happens is it's on a large scale. When manufacturing is done on a large scale, because the geographical and economic factors are favorable, there's large number of working population. There are many people who are settled as skilled, semi-skilled workers, and they are making a living where the industries are concerned, through the industries or the factories or the plants set up over there. Now, what are some of the characteristic features of industrial regions? Agglomeration of industries, as I said, I've already explained. Dense population growth. Dense means there's a lot of population out there. There are people living there, settlements. It's dense. Large labor force. Definitely, you have workers who would want to reside in and around the industry so that coming transportation makes a difference. It's very comfortable to work in an environment which is near to your place where you're living in. Employment to large working population. Now, if it's an industrial region, what happens is in industrial region, there's a lot of population. So that population mostly is employed in these industrial regions. So there's generation of employment, there is job opportunity given, and people get a lot of job opportunities if the industries are set up. If you look at the other side to it, there's another side to it also. So the industries which are developed, they create job opportunities. Now, if you are located in a place where a lot of industries are set up, so you are definitely going to get work related to certain sections in those industries. So it's either way. Large banking and credit facilities. Now, banking and facilities, most of the industries are working on these banking facilities provided by the government, the incentives or the loans which many industries take so that they can carry on their daily operations. Sometimes they require huge investments in terms of machinery, capital. So to just keep it smooth working of the industry, the banking and credit facilities are very important for large industries. Now, a large network of transportation. Now, heavy industries like iron and steel industries, when they are set up, so they require a lot of transportation, which and heavy transportation, like to carry the goods from one place to another, and supplying it to certain places, or they have small plants over there itself, where they are carrying it from one plant to the other, from one place to another, for the finished product. So they require a large network of transportation. So if the network of transportation is large, so you are sorted in terms of the cost also reduces, and the working is smooth. Excellent communication facilities. This is also very important. Communication also is very important, where the facilities given, communication facilities, if given in a proper way and done in a proper way, helps the success of the industry also. So these were the characteristics of industrial region. This is what we did. Now, there are various major industrial regions in the continent. North America, Europe, we know the continents. So according to America, now suppose if I take the first one, how are we going to understand this? In North America, basically we talk about New York. It's a very famous place, Canada. Varied range of relief and climate. The climate is very different, and it affects the localization of the industry. What is it? The physical factors, location of North America just across Europe, rich reserves of mineral resources. Now you can see there are a lot of mineral resources, rich reserves of mineral resources, agricultural products used as raw materials, large rivers and the Great Lakes, broken coastlines. So these contribute to the physical factors which affect the localization in North America. Human factors affecting localization: availability of huge capital, good communication, export facilities, cheap and skilled labor. Now, cheap and skilled labor, I mean, if you have reasonable labor where the wages are not as as high as it could be, and it does not fit into the industry's profit-making ways, it's a good deal. Vast market. I mean, your range of reaching to the market should be really huge. Development of inland water, rail transport, and ports. This is all transportation related. Now, major industries over here is automobile. Now, suppose if I take Detroit in US. Detroit is a manufacturing car hub. They manufacture cars in Detroit. So automobiles is very famous. Aircraft, metal fabricators, petrochemical. Petrochemical, we know there are few petrochemical places where in India is also concerned. Arab countries, we already know. Steel is there. Telecommunication, chemicals, electronics, consumer goods, mobiles. We know about mobiles. Apple is one of them. Wooden industry and heavy chemicals. Europe. Now, if you take Western Europe, that comes with Germany, France, and parts of Great Britain and Italy. The river Rhine plays a very important role as a physical factor. Okay, the climate. We've spoken about these factors. If you see, we've spoken about all these physical factors. Climate supporting fishing and dairy products, large coal and iron reserves, minerals, pastures and meadows. Now over here, what are the human factors which affect the localization? Skilled labor, large markets, port facilities, huge demand, because River Rhine, so there are port facilities also. I mean, you have to link all of these factors, whether it's physical, human, and what products can be derived from. When you look at the factors, you should be able to very quickly understand that what physical factors and human factors lead to that kind of industry which they are famous for in that particular city or country. Development of rail and road transport, mechanization. Now over here, what are they talking about? Ferrous and non-ferrous metal production, aerospace. Aerospace, you all know NASA is in Florida, and space related, it has the biggest space place. construction equipment, industrial, shipbuilding, electric power, machine tools, electronics, telecommunications, fishing, food and beverages, furniture, paper, textiles, all of that. So these two I have discussed with you all. Then there are other regions also. Now suppose I will take the last one is Asia. We'll talk about China. We know every country is dealing with China. There are 90% Chinese products all over the world supplied by China. Now China has created a huge market for itself. More than half of the world is dependent on Chinese products. Anything you touch is Chinese. So Manchuria, that's a place, northern end of the North China Plain, along with east coast and extended westward beyond Beijing, lower Yangtze industrial region, including Shanghai. Now this is rich in iron and coal, near to the coal fields, broken coastline. Development of ports, availability of labor, the amount of labor involved. They have got into manufacturing big time. We are dependent on China for most of our products. Most, you can say nearly all. Availability of labor, because we have not developed as a manufacturing country. We don't manufacture a lot of things. Government policies, yes, the government policies, their trade pacts, their trade policies are very different. Large markets. Cotton textiles, shipyards. For China, if I may say so, they have taken over all the products. So these are the physical, the human factors and the factories which have been set up. And what do they mainly deal in? For me, it's mainly they deal in everything. They market everything. So now it's like we are going to go to the next industry. That's the agro-based industry. Now the first based industry what we are going to talk about today is agro-based industry. Agricultural produce is processed in this sector. For example, sugar mills, cotton textile mills, food processing units. Now let's understand agro-based industry in simpler ways. What is the need and importance of agro-based industries? It is an industry which contributes to the economy as well as to the human development also. So, agro-industry. What is this industry? Industry dealing with the supply, processing and distribution of farm products. Now, it mainly depends on agricultural products as raw materials. Agro-based. Agro means agricultural based. So, its agricultural base is the raw materials derived from agriculture. Okay. So, this is basically dealing with agro-industry. And it deals with the supply, processing and distribution of farm products. Means start to end, it begins and ends with agriculture. Now, what is the need for agro-based industry? We know India is an agricultural country. It depends on agriculture. 75% of our population, they say, is in rural areas. So it is basically for the upliftment of the rural economy. To solve the problem of unemployment, it generates employment in its own way, generates income when it's for the upliftment to generate income to add to the GDP, the national income and increase standard of living. If you have a earning, your standard of living also changes, it increases, it improves. To encourage balanced growth between agriculture and industry. Primary industries, if you all remember, it's based on natural resources. So the secondary industries are created on the basis of primary industries. A lot of industries are created on the basis of primary industries. So there should be a balance between both the industries, the agriculture and the industry. To solve the problem of exploitation of farming communities, we are seeing nowadays farmers are going through a lot of problems wherein their returns are concerned. The produce what they give. For me, the farmer is the backbone of our economy or for us. They provide us with food. In a way, they are big contributors to our living. To avoid wastage of perishable agricultural products. Now, most of these agricultural products are perishable. So, you have to have these industries where these raw materials, what you get from these primary activities, they are used to the optimum and there's minimum wastage to prevent migration of rural people. As I have already said, if industries are created in rural places, you are creating job opportunities, you are making their living better. So the migration stops. I mean, if I have a living, I have an industry, I can work in the place where I have been born and brought up, and I can make a living, a nice living out of that. I wouldn't move to some place. So I wouldn't migrate from my rural community to the urban community. So this is the need for agro-based industry. Now, what is the established importance? The establishment of agro-based industries is based on the availability of raw material. The raw material plays a very important role. Provide rural population an opportunity for employment. You create an employment opportunity for the rural population. Again, you generate income. The need is also there and the importance is also there. Create to improve the economic condition of people. Now, avoid wastage of perishable agricultural products. As I said, there are a lot of, most of the eatables, the crops, the vegetables are perishable. Now, from tomatoes, if at all you take, tomatoes, if they are not consumed well on time, they get spoiled. I mean, you all have seen it. If you all keep it outside also, they can get spoiled very fast. Green leafy vegetables. Now, tomatoes go into they can be made into purees, tomato sauce. So all this, then they progress into this. So if they are not used in these industries in a proper manner, it's going to go waste. So this is one example what I gave you all. Help to develop backward areas based on their suitability for setting up agro industries. As I said, nowadays, our country and our government is coming up with a lot of benefits and incentives if you set up a country in a backward area, where you will be given a lot of facilities, easing of loans or loan waivers sometimes, and this helps and benefits in the backward area growing. Prevent migration, as we said in the last list. So need and importance is almost the same. Like it's very, there's a very thin line. There's not much of a difference. What the needs are, the importance also is there, and both are very important to know as in agro-based industries are concerned. Now the role and importance, the role also now is agro-industry can help stabilize and make agriculture more beneficial. Like agriculture as in gets more importance if these agro-based industries are given importance. Create employment opportunities again for production and marketing strategies. It helps in processing agricultural products such as field crops, tree crops, livestock, fisheries, and converting them to edible and other usable forms. We've already spoken about fisheries and livestock as well. So it helps in processing the agricultural products. They need further processing. Input, process, output. Tomatoes processed in the machinery and the output is tomato sauce or the puree. So they need to be reached to the consumer, and they need to be given that position or that you can say the importance of having these products also should be to the optimum. It is utilized to the optimum. Strengthening industrial and agricultural linkages. Increase the value of crops of poor farmers and thus yield higher returns. This is a struggle which farmers are struggling with. We need to understand their pain. We need to respect them. We need to give them their dues. That's very important. Expand marketing opportunities. The opportunities wherein the market is concerned, you should grab those opportunities on time. Improve livelihoods of people. The livelihoods of people are dependent mostly on agriculture, wherein the rural community is concerned. So you need to improve that. Extend shelf life of commodities, as I said. Now these are perishable commodities. Try to extend and use them to the optimum. Improve palatability of commodities. Enhance food security. There should be food laws, food norms. There should be these testing food items wherein certain things which are banned or not allowed, they should be in proper place. Overcome seasonality and perishability constraints. There are a lot of issues when these items are concerned, wherein the perishability is concerned or the seasonal. They say the best thing where your diet is concerned, you should have seasonal foods and fruits. That's the ideal situation. But nowadays, if you all see, you get, for example, watermelon. Watermelon is supposed to be a summer fruit, but we get it throughout the year. So you can imagine the kind of insecticides and pesticides or how they've been growing, or is it hybrid? We don't know. This is a very risky thing. But the best and ideal situation is to have seasonal fruits and food. Perishability, I've already told you. Now, there are some challenges also which come with it. Which are the major agro-based industries if we see? Mainly what are those? Food products and beverages, tobacco products, textiles, leather products, paper and paper products. Paper is also got from that pulp, what we make. Rubbers also what we see. Textiles, cloth, cotton, clothes, tobacco. India consumes a lot of tobacco, so it's a different thing altogether. Beverages, tea and coffee. We are highly addicted in the world to, people are either addicted to tea or either addicted to coffee. Leather products, where handbags and jackets and a lot of things, other uses are made or done. Now, there are challenges of agro industry. What are the challenges of these agro industries? Proper guidance is not available to entrepreneurs. Now, if you set up a business and you think of setting up a business or starting with an industry or a factory or a plant, anything, you don't have proper guidance. Sometimes you are running around for certain things because you don't have the proper guidelines, you don't know the laws, you don't know how to go about it, whether it's the mechanization, the investments, anything for that matter. Seasonality of crops. As I said, now there's a lot of malpractices happening wherein these fruits and vegetables and crops are concerned. Sometimes I do understand that farmers are going through a lot of their own issues. Sometimes they can't go against it, or they have to, they have to go with the tide. It's basically that poor quality of raw material of supply. You have seen the quality of foods and vegetables, what we used to get initially 15, 20 years ago. There was purity. Now the quality is deteriorated. So the raw material is of deteriorated quality. So the finished product also doesn't stay long. It's very clear with that. Higher losses during transport. Failure of monsoon. Mostly, many times there are certain years which we remember that there was no rainfall, and there are certain places that there is no rainfall for so many years. So monsoon definitely is a big part where agriculture is concerned. Proper guidance training for modern and sophisticated agro industry. Now, when you set up this industry, you need to have some guidance, not only guidance, but you need some training. You need some sophistication wherein the machinery is concerned. You know how to run the business smoothly. So these are few challenges. Another few challenges are poor and inconsistent quality of processed products. As I said, if the raw material is only of poor quality, how are you going to give the final product? The final product is not going to stay longer. It may include losses during storage. Warehouses are there, so there are some accidents happening over there. Handling while taking it via transportation, processing. A lack of proper hygiene and sanitation practices. Students, this is nowadays a very important thing. Sanitation as well as proper hygiene plays a very important role for in every aspect of our dealings. So this is very important nowadays. Uncertainty about future market demand. Now, we can't predict what the market is going to be like in certain period at a certain period of time. So there's a lot of uncertainty. There are a lot of doubts and questions, and you don't know. Today you can make it, tomorrow the market won't want your product. So there's uncertainty. Inappropriate packaging materials and high packaging costs. Now, certain products have to be packaged in such a way that they look attractive. The consumer gets attracted with the packaging itself. So there are a lot of costs involved in that. So what happens is packaging materials which are not suitable for those particular items also is a challenge, and the packaging cost, because you're advertising, you're marketing, and you're packaging. So the overall product, you don't get, in the end, it's like you don't get high returns. You can't make high profits. So this is what we've learned about agro industry, and we got to know about the characteristics of industrial regions, how they are important. This is the marine-based industries now what we are going to talk about. Now, what is marine-based industries? These refer to all units involved in the processing and canning of fish, fish products, and other marine produces. This is all related to water. Fishing industry, the fishery, fish oil, ornamental objects, sea, shell.